What is up, y'all? It is time for AEW Forbidden Door. We got the predictions, we got the opinions, we got the Wrasslin Corner. Coming up.
That's $1 million picture.
We are covering WWE and AEW.
Well, I'm not going to say she's there yet.
I feel like CJ White with the door.
We will be here with this bat right here.
What's up, guys? It is the Wrasslin Corner, your favorite wrestling prediction show. I am the host, How Fresh, here to do the Forbidden Door. I got picks, I got opinions, and I got a podcast. Let's get it going. First up, without further ado, we will get into the matches, starting with the AEW World Championship match between Hangman Adam Page and MJF. And there's the stipulation that the title does change hands on disqualification or countout, which is a weird stipulation. It makes you assume it's going to have something to do with the finish. I would think, man, both guys have been booked really strong lately. It's hard to imagine either one getting like a clean pin on the other. Like, Hangman just won the championship. He just turned babyface. It wouldn't make sense for him to drop the title already. On the other hand, MJF, he's back in the title picture. He's in bad standing now with the Hurt Syndicate. I don't know why they had him in the Hurt Syndicate. It was all pretty pointless. This might come into play. Maybe that was the whole point. It just seems a whole lot of nothing just to have them interfere in this match. But that certainly could be it. I'm going to look for the Hurt Syndicate to get involved in the finish and cost MJF the match, helping Hangman retain his title. I think, and I'm going to go with Hangman, Adam Page. I wouldn't expect a 5-star classic out of MJF, but he's always good for some interesting, kind of funny heel like ways to either win or get an advantage in the match. And Hangman, he's been having a lot of bloodbath hardcore matches lately, which I really like, but he certainly is the better wrestler technically as well. Next up, I'm looking at the Lights Out Steel Cage match. A little bit of a mixed opinion on this one. It's going to be Ospreay, Darby Allin, Tanahashi, and the Golden Lovers taking on the Young Bucks, Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Gabe Kidd. Let's start good. This match is going to be violent, physical, amazing, bloody. It's going to be a great match. It's just that AEW has so many matches on this card, and they do this with every pay-per-view. They put on, I want to see most of those talents, and I want to see a steel cage match. It's just that at some point there's too many matches, and there's only so much emotional investment to give. And with such little or shallow storylines here, there are some. I'm not going to say it's totally empty, but it just doesn't feel as important as all the other matches. So they either could have maybe built it up better or go for quality over quantity on these pay-per-view matches. I guess when you have Test 17 titles, you kind of have to have 17 matches. So what's going to happen here? Well, Darby Allin's back. Will Ospreay on a roll. And I believe now he was on Dynamite saying that he has to get surgery on this. He kind of hinted that this might be his last match before surgery. So Will Ospreay and Darby Allin, it's hard to see them getting a loss here. The Young Bucks, to their credit, after years of me crapping on them for booking themselves overly strong, they are starting to give back to the business. They lost their jobs. They've been losing to people on TV. It's pretty funny. They're leaning into it, and it does kind of add a new level of respect to the Young Bucks. Still not the technical wrestlers that I do enjoy, but they have their own entertainment value. Moxley, I think, is underrated. People like to shit on him, but I think he's underrated. Castagnoli, I mean, one of the most underrated of all time. So what's going to happen? It's either going to be Ospreay or Darby Allin. I think it might be Ospreay now that he's going to go for surgery. I'm going to pin one of the Young Bucks. I think the Young Bucks have been, like I said, given back. They've been getting pinned. They've been putting people over. Taking a lot of punishment is not the word, but it's like more like harassment or so. I don't know. They're doing a great thing. I certainly do think it's Will Ospreay, Darby Allin, Tanahashi, and the Golden Lovers who are going to pull this one out. Who do I want? I mean, I don't particularly care, to be honest. I suppose I do like more members of the babyface team, so I think I want Ospreay and friends. Ospreay and friends. Okay. And then we are at Forbidden Door, so I kind of understand why they have to do this, but that doesn't mean it has to be the greatest thing on the card. It's the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. We're talking Zack Sabre Jr. versus Nigel McGuinness. All right. Like I said, you have to have Japan's biggest championship highlighted at Forbidden Door. I get that. I haven't understood the re-emergence of Nigel McGuinness as a wrestler. I understand he's important in wrestling history in kinds of ways, in the depths of the history anyway. But his comeback is unnecessary. It's not that his gimmick is over. It's not that he's in some type of brand new shape. It's not that he's pulling out new stuff. It just seems forced. Zack Sabre Jr. is certainly one of the best talents on the earth. He may be up there on the level of a Will Ospreay. I mean, Will Ospreay is probably the top, but he's looking right at him. And there's no way he's going to drop the biggest title in Japan to Nigel McGuinness in AEW. I just don't see it. And I don't even, Nigel isn't the best athlete anymore, but he does have the ring IQs to put on a good match. So it's not as bad as they kind of been whining about. So they could have a great match, but there was much better opponents, much better storylines to build. This is just, I believe it was Nigel McGuinness who won a 4-way match for this opportunity. So very little thought went into this match. Think and want Zack Sabre Jr. And now I'm looking at the AEW Unified Championship. That's right, Kazuchika Okada versus Swerve Strickland. For that. And you know what? I was complaining about the titles earlier. They did unify these championships, so that's another props to them. Looking at the match itself, Okada, Swerve, I mean, they are two of the hardest hitters in the company. Two of the biggest names, certainly. Swerve might be a little bit more popular just because of the American and the English. But Okada can, I don't want to say he's better than Swerve, but they are equals, no doubt about it. How they got to this match is Strickland, of course, cost the Young Bucks with Will Smith. With Will Ospreay. This is the bounce back. With Will Ospreay, cost the Young Bucks their jobs. Okada is good friends with the Young Bucks. He's out for revenge. That's kind of the storyline. It's better than some of the other stories on this card. And it is full of two great talents. Perhaps Okada doesn't go as bloody as... No, he was bloody the other day. I shouldn't even say that. Swerve does go hardcore more often. Okada might even be a harder hitter than Swerve. Oh, it's going to be a great match. It's going to be hard hitting. You know they're going to leave it all in the ring. The story is, I'll say, average. Who do I think? Who do I want? Man, I do like both these guys, and Swerve has had his run. Although Okada had his shine via the Young Bucks as well. Hmm. Who do I think on this one? It's for the title. I just can't see. Okay, here's my prediction. I'm going to say that I think Okada is going to win this match. Just like Swerve cost the Young Bucks their job, their opportunities, the Young Bucks are going to cost Swerve this opportunity in one way or another, outside interference, something like that. Okada wins with the Young Bucks' help. Swerve Strickland pinned, bloodied, physical. I'm looking forward to it, but that finish does protect both guys, I suppose. You don't want either guy taking a clean pin, but sometimes a clean pin is nice, you know. I'm cool with either guy winning this. I think I'm going to say Okada just to build this championship a bit more. It's pretty in its infancy after being unified. I think Swerve has had enough of a run. And he can go on another run, but he just dropped the title not super long ago. So think and want Kazuchika Okada. And you know what? No hate to Swerve. Swerve's awesome. We're gonna move on to the tag team championships. I'm looking at the champions, the Hurt Syndicate, on a roll. They're on a huge. They're rolling downhill right now in AEW in a good way. One of the few examples, I said this before, of a wrestler faction team getting more over in AEW, getting further over is probably the proper way to say that. They are hot. Again with the MJF stuff earlier. I don't know why they needed to do that. They could have been doing much more hardcore, cool things. Now they have a match with FTR and Brodido. That's Brody King and Bandito. They were, I think it was a tournament. Yes, it was the tag team tournament that was going to crown the number one contenders. Uh, the finals was on Dynamite, FTR versus Brodido, and it was, I don't know what the time limit was, 30 or 60 minutes, but it was a physical brawl with so many great false finishes. And it all ended up in a draw. So, of course, it's going to be a triple threat tag match. As much as I love seeing Bandito and Brody King get some more spotlight, I think Brody King especially is one of the most underappreciated and underpushed talents on the AEW roster. He kind of lost his way when Aleister Black, what was his old name? Now I'm already on his WWE name. And it's not Tommy End. Whatever it was. I know it's Tommy End in the WWE, I guess. All right. So who do we think? Who do we want? FTR. Where was I? I lost my train of thought. Oh, as much as I love seeing Brody King get the spotlight, new spotlight, it wouldn't make sense for this random tag team who have been having great, entertaining matches the last few weeks. So don't get me wrong, I love watching their matches, their tag matches too. It's a great combination of styles. To take that from long-term, tenured tag teams like the Hurt Syndicate and FTR would not make total sense to me. So that does rule them out, even though that might be my want. Honestly, I would love to see them get a push, further push. It's just not going to happen there. It is going to be the Hurt Syndicate or FTR to win this. The Hurt Syndicate have had it for a while, but it's kind of been, with all this MJF stuff, it's kind of been cold. I think they're going to revamp the physicality, go back to what they were. It just seems like a cold drop. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm going to go with somebody in the Hurt Syndicate is going to pin Brody King because Bandito is the ROH champion. Somebody in the Hurt Syndicate is going to pin Brody King, I believe, and that sucks for my fanhood, but that's the prediction. And I'm going to cheer for Brodido. Forget it. Cheer for them. Something different. Now, speaking of something different, that is my prediction coming up for this one. It is the women's AEW World Championship match. Toni Storm defending it against Athena, the forever champion, the fallen goddess, the only real women's talent that AEW has had for a long time. I'm bad with remembering time off the top of my head. Feels like years. She was the ROH champion for ages. They built her up slow. She is on a crazy run. Toni Storm's gimmick has gotten so stale, in my opinion. There's been no advancement of this corny, over-the-top, theatrical character. It's not like even a wrestling gimmick. It's an over-the-top, nonsense character. There's been no new developments in it. And I'm tired of it. From the person who said they would never do gimmicks, they're doing the worst over-the-top gimmick of all time. It's time for a change. AEW knows that. We're going with Athena. Think and want. Lock it in. It's got to happen. It's happening. I hope. Oh, I hope. And then we're moving on to the TBS Championship. The Mercedes Moné Hulk Hogan Championship. She's never going to drop it. She has creative control over the TBS Championship, and she is not going to drop it until she wants to. They've also thrown 3 challengers at her in this 4-way match from 3 different promotions. Alex Windsor. I've honestly never heard of, until this week, this person in particular. So I am going to botch this, but I'm going to say it for all you homies out there. Hearse phone. It's got to be some kind of accent that I'm missing. Way to do my research here. There's no way they're going to win. It just doesn't make sense. They also got Bozilla in there. So that's the 3 challengers. None of those are even real challengers. Never mind to Mercedes Moné, who I'll say it again, modern day Hulk Hogan, carrying around ceremonial belts that she would never have to defend and presenting them as real championships. I don't know. I just hate it. She thinks it's awesome. AEW's paying her for it. Whatever. I'm allowed to hate it. I think Mercedes is going to win. Who do I want? Oh, my God. I don't care. I guess maybe slight lean Alex Windsor, although I'm not the hugest fan. I guess that would be my answer if you made me give one. 2 more matches. The next one we're looking at is the TNT Championship match. We're looking at Kyle Fletcher versus Hiromu Takahashi. So Kyle Fletcher joining the Don Callis family, cutting his hair, feuding with Will Ospreay. He's now doing his thing, TNT champion, on a pretty good heel run. His faction mates, Don Callis family, tend to be there to help him in kind of a greasy win situations as necessary. Again, with these Forbidden Door matches, there's not always the best storyline. I believe all it was it just an open call out to, yes, here we go. It was an open call out to the best of Japan, and we got Takahashi. And it's going to be a great match. Again, all these matches are definitely more focused on the matches and less focused on the storylines. And that's a different way to approach it. That's why we like both promotions here. We do both picks. So, I think I'm going to have to say want Kyle Fletcher. It's just weird to drop it to Takahashi. Just shows up from Japan. What's he going to do? Take the TNT championship back over there? It's just a weird type of situation. Although, there has been plenty of examples of cross promotion championships all around. So, it's not impossible. Think and want, however, I'm going to stick with Fletcher. And this last match as well does not need to be on a pay-per-view, especially one with so many matches. We've got Cope clinging to his career, clinging to, what's the word I'm looking for? Relativity? No. He doesn't care what I'm saying because I can't even come up with the words, but he's clinging, he's begging for fans. He knows Christian Cage has re-emerged, replenished his career in AEW. He's more over than perhaps, maybe, if you don't want to say he's more over than he ever was, he is more over than Cope for the first time ever. He's not changing his name to Chris, you know? And I'm glad when they shook hands, Christian is still going to be kind of, he's not going to change his character too much. He's not going to change being an asshole or a dick. So maybe Cope can get some shine here with Christian Cage, but there was no need to do it on Forbidden Door. They're taking on in-house challengers, Kip Sabian and Luchasaurus, which is essentially just Christian's old faction. It's not a pointless. It is kind of a payoff of a storyline with Christian Cage and the patriarchy. So I get that. There could have been a much better spot to put this. Luchasaurus back. He got a big pop this week. Who do I think? Who do I want? Well, I'm a huge Christian mark. I always thought Christian was better than Edge, even back in the WWF. So I'm going to have to say I want Christian despite whatever else is going on. And it would make the most sense for them to win as well. Recently reunited as a tag team. Even though he still has the edge to him, Cage now shaking hands with Cope. Seems like they're going to have a tag team run. So it would make the most sense for them to win here as well. It's going to be the pin on Kip Sabian. I don't know for sure who's going to get it, but it's going to be on Kip Sabian. For certain. And that does wrap it up, guys. Thanks for watching the Wrasslin Corner. I do all the WWE, AEW, PLEs, or pay-per-views, predictions, and opinions. This has been your favorite prediction show. I am your host, How Fresh. Some plugs before we go. You can check me out on StadiumRant.com for most of my sports writing and my WWE writing, but I'm also on Greenville Sports Media covering AEW over there for those fine folks. StadiumRant.com, GreenvilleSportsMedia.com. Also, in the description below, there will be a link for 10% off W, 10% off sugar-free W energy drinks. You can also use our gambling code for all you degenerates out there. 125% deposit bonus 3 times on the Real Fresh Bet US link. Sign up below, new members. Check it out. Otherwise, thanks, guys. I will be live on Tuesday with Fresh Take Sports Podcast with Big Luke. And I believe there is, what's the WWE show coming out after this? Is it? Paris. Clash in Paris. That's coming up. We're going to be covering that as well. So thanks for tuning in. It's How Fresh, the Wrasslin Corner. Peace.
It's $1 million picture.
We are covering WWE and AEW.
Well, I'm not gonna say she's there yet.
I feel like DJ White was still
We will beat him with this bat.